Hi, everybody. Welcome to Nija Knows. I know we used to Nikki starting it off, but I was going to hijack it this time and say hi first. welcome. Today we have, of course, the fabulous Miss Adenike and Felicia.
Yay!
Hi. Today we are talking about breakups and heartache. So we've done a lot of work and a lot of self-work and talking and about relationships and dating and getting into a good quality relationship, but sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes things happen, but this episode is how to ways to get through that. And so now we're going to talk about what happens after a relationship ends, whether it's good terms, bad terms, because sometimes relationships just end because it's time for it to end. So it should be good. But before we get started, we're going to go through our tips and tricks. Who wants to start?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Me. I got it first.
Yeah.
So my random facts. Nick has a random fact today is about electric eels because, as you guys know, I get lost in these videos. So something popped up on my timeline about electric eels, and it was showing somebody that was getting shocked by it. So it led me to YouTube because I wanted to know, like, how much of a electrical charge do they release. So electric eels are actually closely related to the catfish. They call them eels because of how they look, but it's actually like a fish, like a catfish sort of a thing. And they live like in the mud and stuff. In the Amazon in South America. They can grow up to 8 feet, and they can release a voltage of 600 to 800 volts. So that's a lot. That's gonna, put you on your butt.
What's that comparison to though?
I'm not sure. Like, I guess putting your hand on an electric pole, going up there and grabbing the phone. So it's more than like you can survive it, but it's definitely going to put you on your butt. So like the video that I watched, they were testing the volts, and so it comes up out of the water and the volts are coming from its neck area. That's where the organs are, and it was putting its neck up against whatever they were putting in the water and shocking it like that. And they actually hunt in groups, and they will charge themselves together to release the shock, and it shocks the fish, and then they go eat the fish. So it was pretty interesting. Watched a couple videos.
Nature is ruthless, man.
I don't like it.
I was like, I guess we'll be going to the Amazon.
They got electricity too.
Yeah. Not fun.
Nope.
I'm good.
Nope.
Once again, I'm not sticking my hand in water I can't see to the bottom of.
That's the other part. Not gonna do it.
Yeah, no lakes, no river. I'm good.
Not swimming in lakes. Nope. Bougie about my beaches too. That rule applies to my beaches as well.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen some pretty gnarly beaches. I am a beach snob. Yeah. If it's not pretty, I don't want it.
I don't want to go.
No parts. Be like,
I'm not stepping in that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm also
like I might catch something. I'm good.
Felicia, you're up next.
So people want toned arms. Of course, with having a nice, round, voluptuous gluteus maximus, but we did that one already. So we're going to talk about an exercise that you can get for, nice back of the arms, when you want to wear your strapless dresses and shirts. One that I found, two actually, that are really good, skull crushers. Look it up. They're really good. And tricep dips, when you use a bench and you dip down, and you can alternate too. You put one leg over the other, so it puts more weight on the other arm. So you're working that arm a little bit more. Those are two really good exercises to get nice, sexy, toned triceps. We can rock those sleeveless shirts.
Okay. No,
get in the
Get in the but look at it. You better
Welcome to the gun show.
Pow, pow, pow.
Let's see. So travel tip. Find yourself a good travel hobby. Depending on how far you go and where you're headed, sometimes it's nice to have something to do to occupy your mind and your hands, because sometimes just listening to music isn't enough. And you're not going to read all the time when you're traveling. So something that you know that you can do for a while and that'll keep kind of get the fidgets out, especially like if something like on a plane. So I used to crochet, and then I had started learning how to knit, but you're able to like bring balls and stuff, through, and you can do that on the plane, or crossword puzzles, or just anything. It's always nice to have that hobby, because even off the plane, when you're at your destination, if you're on vacation or you're traveling, sometimes there's just nothing to do. There's just going to be lulls. You're not going to be jam-packed 24/7. So find something for yourself to do that won't cost you money. Save your coins for like the really cool stuff, and relax and do something that's going to like occupy your mind. So that would be my travel tip. Figure out a travel hobby.
My personal one is word search and music. So when I'm on the plane, I'll do my word search and listen to music. That's my favorite thing. Yes.
All right. Awesome. So then that brings us into the breakup.
Breakups to makeups. That's all we do. You love me, then you hate me. That's okay. For fools. I've had that song in my head literally all week. I've listened to it so much this week because I knew this was coming up, and I could not I don't know why it's that song, but I've listened to it like a bunch of times. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that used to be on play like every weekend for Spades Night when my parents would like have people over. That was one of the songs. One of many like super old songs that are always like same. That are always stuck in my head.
That
I don't like it though, because
Stylistics, by the way.
Yes.
Stylistics.
I don't really care for it though, because sometimes you break up and you don't need to make up. Sometimes like I think that like I will start off the breakup episode with, sometimes when that door closes, leave it shut.
You need to leave it
lock the door. There's a reason sometimes why things don't work.
Yeah.
And when things don't work, you get lonely, but you start missing the things that your comfort zone, even if you hate it and it's bad for you and it's toxic and it's unhealthy for you. If that's still a safety zone, because it's like devil you don't know. You get a lot of people that like circle back around, and it happens. Let's not like to judge anything, because I feel like for the most part, most people have done that in a situation. Mm-hmm. My standing rule was never to dip back in the trash can.
Girl, look, you better say that. You better say that again. Say it again.
Sorry. Not to say that things can't be recycled, because you my trash, but you somebody else's, recycled plastic bottle that they want to turn into something. That's cool.
Recycled
plastic. Listen, one of my friends, he said it's okay if I say his name, but he watches us faithfully, Terrence. And that's what he always tell me when I'm telling him about my little issues. He said, you better not dig back in the garbage. Stop digging back in the garbage. He always tell me that.
Right.
Always.
Leave that alone. And I know that that's hard, but sometimes that's the best thing you can do is not go back. I have a staunch policy of not dating exes, because I feel like, because I mean, like, to get to the point where we had to break up means that it had to be something very substantial in order for me to like just turn off, just like, it's just like feelings on, feelings off, I'm done.
Right.
Like, but it takes a lot for my feelings to turn off, but once they're off,
it's off. Yeah.
What about some of the people who do break up and they get back together because both parties, had an agreement that we're going to take a break, and they did the work separately and then came back together? What about that?
Breaks like that don't really count to me, because I feel like if your intention is always to get back together at the end, you didn't really break up. Like, I mean, you may have like gave each other space, and you may have like moved apart and like changed the terms of your relationship to like breathe. But if ultimately you knew you were gonna like move to get back together, and you were doing the work to get back together, I don't think that's not the same. I'm talking like
permanent breaks.
Nasty breakups, like
Yeah.
breakups that needed to happen,
And
for
not
all
even
kinds of
necessarily
reasons.
like always nasty. Sometimes you
true.
just realize like it's not going to
It's
work.
not
And
working.
you both, you know, mutually agree like, yeah, it's best if we're just a bit away from each other. Because I think people, like I call it they're functioning comfortably functioning in dysfunction, because that's what we're used to. And sometimes we, especially if you don't really know yourself, you may not feel that or know that you can do better because you're so used to how we always talk about fight for love, fight. Well, it got to be two people working. Yeah, you shouldn't have to fight. Like fight to me has a negative connotation. Why do I have to fight? I don't want to beat you up. That's not the goal in the relationship. I want us to be working together, and you're not going to get along all the time. We all know that. We all have difference of opinions and stuff like that. But if both people are willing to work on it, we both are okay with ourselves. It's a conscious effort to, all right, this is the issue. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out ways. And it's not going to happen overnight. Sometimes it takes months to get through whatever the issue is. But sometimes it's just like, you got to realize like they not.
You got to know when to call it.
Yeah.
And that's
like,
hard.
They're not.
No one wants to be alone.
Everybody's
afraid to be by themselves, and you start making questionable people decisions when you are not just alone, but when you start feeling lonely. I think it's when people start like loosening their standards and boundaries and kind of picking anybody and
but the thing is, there's people are scared of being alone, but you can be alone and lonely and be in a full-fledged relationship.
Exactly. You could be lonely in a relationship too. Exactly. Exactly.
I know that's definitely happened for me. And I like one particular one. I mean, I tried, right? And I tried, and he was just like acting like it was whatever. I was, interrogating him or bothering him or whatever, because I'm like, let's fix it or whatever. And then after a while, I was just like, I remember I went and I sat next to him one time, and I was just like, so what are you? He was just like, he didn't say anything. He was just staring for it. Didn't say a word. I was like, all right, that's it. And I meant it. That's it. And that was it. That was it for me. I was done. And by the time he realized I was leaving, he was like, wait. It's too late now. Because now my emotions, like you did with that light switch, are off. And for me, once they're off, they are all the way off. Like, don't even.
And there's no resurrection. We ain't Jesus.
No, like we talked about before, that block.
Keep that stone rolled right in front of that door. Ain't nobody coming to roll the stone back.
Nope. And I tried that before, like, one particular, we broke up for a while and then got back together. But by the time we did get back together, it was too late. I mean, we tried, we really did, but it was just too late. Too much time had passed. We still had certain things that we hadn't worked on individually, but we thought we did or whatever. And it just, just flat out didn't work. So I just had to, hang it up. But the other part of breakups is, how do you get through it? So now you decided, like, okay, it's over, it's done. Now what do I do? Now I really am sitting here by myself.
I'm sad that I feel like the initial like 2 months is the worst. Like that is a shit that like makes you want to crack in absolute half. Like because
I think mine was like 6 months. I don't. It was rough. It was rough.
I think too, it kind of depends on how long the relationship was. So something that was like a year, it's not going to take me as long to get over something that was 3, 4, or 5 years. Because
I don't really know.
For me, I'm probably by 5 years. I'm already emotionally invested, even at a year, obviously. But 5 years now, we in deep at this point. Like, what you mean? No, it's not going to work. Or you know what I'm saying?
You want to break it,
yeah. So for me, because like once I'm, as far as relationship concerned, once I'm in. I'm all the way in 100%. So then that whoever made the decision for that to be gone, it's the longer for me, the longer the relationship was, the longer it's harder for me to get past it.
Yeah, pick yourself up. Be like, okay.
Yeah.
That was sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say for me, it's not so much the length of time. It's kind of like it's the quality of the relationship. I've had shorter relationships to hit me harder when the breakup happens versus like a longer one where I was like, I'm done. And it took me about the same amount of time, if not less time, because it was actually more of a relief that it was done. than the other one that was actually, we only been together for like maybe like 2 years or so. Like the 5-year one took me less time because I was like, I'm done. And it was like, whew, well, that was actually good. I'm actually glad that was done. I learned the lessons I needed to learn. The universe, thank you. I don't need to learn that again. I got the message. Like, please don't send that back around again. Like, got you.
You had to be very specific. I got it. Okay.
I got it. Like, please don't do that to me again. But that one was, the shorter one. It really is just like about quality. I think of the relationship, like the real intensity of the relationship, that for me like dictates how hard it hits me afterwards. Because like usually like it hits hard. Like the world goes dark. All I hear is sad music with like loud wails and runs.
Wow.
I'm not hungry. I do lose some good weight, like.
Oh yeah.
And it's a good way to like refine your like your routine, and like but like that first, like I said, that first month or two is just hard. You don't want to talk to nobody. You don't want comfort. You just
You want to sit in your mess. You want to just sit there and be in it. Leave me alone. Let me just be here. And sometimes that's a good thing, because a lot of people, they try to push it to the side, push it down. They don't want to feel it. And they just, eventually at some point, it's going to come back up again. We've talked about that before. Sometimes that's a good thing, just to sit in it and feel all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing too. The good thing, you have to feel it to in my opinion, to get through it. Because if you, like you said, put it to the side, it's to the side, which means it hasn't gone away. It's still there.
It's just gonna come back
to your left.
Come back and bleed your next relationship.
Exactly. I always, have given myself enough time to really get through it. And I have to say, music for me is like everything. Like Keisha Cole, and that
right. Get you through some.
Keisha Cole first album got me through that breakup. I tell you, I should have cheated. Look, I'll be singing this whole episode. She got me through. She's not, she's not no Whitney Houston as far as vocals are concerned. But yes, she knew what she was talking about.
Question. What songs do you usually default to, or what artists do you default to during a breakup? I think a lot of people retreat to music.
Yeah. For me, it's
who is it?
It depends on what stage I'm in. So usually initially I'm angry. So it's Trina. Niggas ain't shit. Some tricks.
Like you just cut everybody out.
I hate all of it.
And then I start to feel sad, and that's when the Keisha Cole and the Toni Braxtons come out.
Why you call me?
That one.
Oh God! This time around, I did a lot of rap. A lot of angry rap. Yeah, I don't think I did any sad music. No, I was just like, we gonna thug this shit. We thugging it this time. We gonna let all this aggression out in the gym, DMX.
Here I go, Mr. Looking for me.
I thugged it out this time.
Yeah.
No soft, no crying. Right. I was crying when I was, when things were quiet, and you come in your room and it's like, that's why when you get in the gym and you're in the car, you got to blast that rap, that angry rap.
Snap you out of it.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah.
Snap. You gotta snap yourself out of it, at least for the public. Like I'm about to.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a bitch out here in these streets.
You're right.
I'm gonna thug it out.
I know, punk bitch. Yeah, look at that move.
Thug it out here on the street, but in this bedroom,
it was a free for all.
Yeah, I'm a little softy, crying with my teddy bear sucking my thumb.
I pull out good old India Ari.
Oh
her albums. I start from the beginning, and then I just work my way through. I get to her love and relationship album, and just like just
Yeah.
cry.
Oh Lord.
Just cry. And then she rebuilds. And then I'm like, oh, okay, then I'm gonna rebuild too. But you know,
Okay.
after I wallow in like the sad songs, like
Yeah.
that she has one song called like Good Morning, but it's not like morning, it's morning, like MOU.
Aw.
That one I'm like on repeat again. Bring it back.
You know, another
That's when
good
you know you're
one.
really going through some stuff.
Right. Another good
Again.
one is that Mary J. Blige, the one from Waiting to Exhale.
Not gonna cry.
Yes.
That one.
11 years, although I never been in an 11-year relationship, but I be singing it like I was. I really do.
Like you felt every word she was singing, huh?
Cry, I'm not gonna cry. Look, don't get me started.
You got to get your black shades.
Let's get my black shades, put my hair
Put on
wrap
your
on.
black-
Can't tell me nothing.
Nikki, we calling you Nikki. Come out the house.
Like,
Just put on something. Come out
Let's
wearing
go
all black.
eat.
Like,
yeah,
put on some
definitely
colors.
Friends too, have helped me. You, Tori, we've had our wine sessions with our paper towel rolls, crying
Just
about whatever it is. Same,
sad.
Felicia, you too.
Just
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, but we got through it though.
We did. And
We
that's like the one thing
did.
about heartbreak. Heartbreak, yeah, it hurts, but like when you get through it, I feel like you always come back out just like stronger.
Yes.
Like
Because you learn yourself, you find yourself
Yes,
again,
there's another
and
lesson.
you grow.
Yeah. It's almost like I hate to compare it to a snake, but that's the only animal I can think of right away that sheds its skin, and it's a new layer underneath. You let go of all that dead stuff and just left it on the trail of life there somewhere, and now you're new and improved and bigger and better, because snakes, they shed their skin when they're growing. So it's similar. I hate to use a snake, but anyway, it's similar. You shed that old because you're growing. Hopefully you're growing and getting better and learning. And, I people always say I regret, but I like to say that each, relationship that has ended for whatever the reason was, I don't regret it, because I wouldn't be how I am now, very sure of myself and sure of what it is that I want, if those things hadn't happened. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't, my perspective, my mindset, everything was different then. So had those things not happened, I wouldn't be, where I am. So it's definitely a lesson learned.
Everything in life is a teaching moment.
Yes. Alicia Keys, another one. She has a song called Lesson Learned. I think she sings it with John Mayer. That's a good one too.
So question then, what's a trigger for you guys? Like that, well, not necessarily a trigger, but what is a moment or something where you're just like, absolutely not, I'm done. Like what's a like I'm through kind of element for you?
I think for me, when I think about it, each time it's been, except for two of the breakups, one of them, it was, they always say women don't admit fault. It was my fault. I will say that. And it wasn't like I cheated. It was nothing like that. It was just, the speed he was going out. I wasn't going at the same speed, and I just wasn't prepared for what he was offering at the time. Good man and all that stuff. And I messed that up. But for me, wait, say your question again.
Like what is what's a trigger, or what's like an absolute finishing point? Like something happens and it's like, absolutely not.
Yeah, for me, when I think of the last probably 2 relationships that were, for an extended amount of time, I don't count like 2 months, 3 months, that don't count. Actual like those relationships. Exactly. For me, it's always been an issue of indecision. So either indecision as to like, you still got these other chicks that are hanging around that you can't seem to figure out what it is that you want, or you like making up stuff and not fully telling the story about who this person is. Or whether or not you even want to be in a relationship. Like, oh, I thought everything was good. Now you're telling me, oh, we're best friends. I'm sorry, what was that now? That type of thing. So for me, indecision to me is a clear decision. So if you hemming and hawing, but you still want me to do all the, girlfriend, wifey type stuff, yeah, you've made the decision, whether you realize it or not, whether you're saying it verbally or not, consciously or subconsciously, you've made the decision. And if you feel like you haven't, well, I'm about to make it for you. Deuces. I cannot take indecision. I really can't. I can't, especially if a certain amount of time has already, passed and we've already talked about it. Cause I'm a person like, okay, let's talk about it. Okay. You're still not sure. Okay. I might give you a couple chances, but like, dude, We talking about, we 3 years
Time.
in now. You still, nah, I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's the most precious resource
Yes.
in this one.
Yes.
What about you, Felicia?
Yeah, that's kind of a hard one because my last relationship was 9 years. Like we're talking like almost a decade with one person. And when I tell you that was a roller coaster ride for your ass, oh Lord. I think now after experiencing all that, the cheating, yeah, I want you, but no, I'm not sure. And just like Nick I said, the just being indecisive and the not communicate, please. Don't not communicate with me. Don't not do that. Because at this point, where Felicia is, that's going to lead to a whole lot of problems. Don't do that. You're going to miss out on a good thing here. If you just don't do something so simple as just communicating. Let me know where you are. Check in. And definitely, like, depending on the dynamic of the relationship, and that goes along with communicating too, like the cheating. Like, I know what it feels to be cheated on left, right, and sideways. That it's not fun. So if I ask you, don't lie to me. Don't do that. If I'm asking you, it's not because I'm asking because I want to know. I'm asking because I already know and I want to see if you want to tell me the truth.
Right.
Yeah. Honesty for me is like honesty and like trust levels. Like if I can't trust you, there's not a damn thing I can do with you. Like, that is the fastest when I will help you out the door. I will, drop kick you out the door if I can't trust you. And that goes with lying to me unnecessarily. Like, that's my biggest, like, don't lie to me. I would rather you tell me the truth. Like, there is no truth that you're going to tell me that's going to be worse than a lie. And I find out that you lied to me. Like, the lie's always going to hurt worse than the truth.
Yeah. So my mom always told me, she said, you know what? I can work with the truth all day. Just don't lie. Like, I can't do anything. I'm going to be so much more upset if you look me in my face and I know you're lying to me versus if you said, this is what happened. I messed up. Like, life would be so much easier if people can just, again, communicate and just
communicate. Just be honest.
People.
Where are you? Where are you in your journey? What do you need to say to me? Is something not working? Do you not like something that I do? But say it. Like, if I'm not the one for you and don't cheat, just let me break up. Let me know. Let's walk away. Or, whatever that dynamic is, like, tell me. Because for you to like stretch out that lie and then force me to be a part of that lie, and ultimately a lie is always going to fall apart at some point anyway. Now, more unnecessary time has been invested, and now it's like extra pain and unraveling you have to do only because you decided you wanted to stretch out that lie versus
it's like you're making a decision for me to be in something instead of just letting me make that decision for myself, and that's not right.
And I think the lying, like this, like lie is the big category, and for me indecision goes under, because like the last relationship, and we're going to refer to him as cray, y'all know who I'm talking about, ultimately made me say
sorry.
He's like, like, what I'm talking about. Ultimately what made me make the decision was, he came down to, he didn't live in Florida, he came down to Florida for a visit, and by then, like, for me, conversations had been going on, so I didn't realize until he was in person that I had already like checked out, because we were still talking every day and stuff, but there were certain things I'm like, okay, and he's telling me stories like, oh yeah, I saw such and such, or I had a conversation with this person, and it was always women. That junk bothered me. But and then he's saying, oh yeah, and I told her blah blah, and it was the way he was referring to me. I'm just like, why would you call me that? It wasn't like my girlfriend was like, oh, my make believe. It was some random like weird ass thing that he was like referring. Like, why are you like, to me, the way he was like, the way that you're saying it is to let her know that in case, I'm available, not technically in a relation, that type of thing. Like, but we had this whole conversation, like we've been flying back and forth. Like, I don't get it. But anyway, he came down, and like, even just for him to touch me, it was just like, I can, when my body is like, no, then it's like, oh, okay, now we have a problem. And I've tried so hard to act like my normal self. but I really couldn't. And of course he picked up on that, obviously, because I can't be subtle about it, just like, and he's like, why you, backing away from me? It was like, and I tried really hard. So, dropped him off at the airport. We talked about it. We're going to figure it out, whatever. He's like, your attitude. I'm just like, yeah, because of A, B, and C, we've been talking about this and nothing has changed, blah, blah, blah. So then like he was like, I'm driving home and he's like, yeah, so, I'm not sure where this is going to go. I'm like, so what does that mean? Well, I'm going to have to sit down and write a pros and cons list. And I was just like,
okay.
We already known each other at this point at like 13, 14 years. So we already know each other. It wasn't like it was a brand new thing. I'm like, you got to write a pros and cons list. I was like, okay. And I slept on that thing and I got it the next day. I was like, oh, hell no. I went to work, went on my lunch break, was actually on my way to meet some friends for lunch and called him, was like, you know what? Don't even worry about your list. We good. He was like, what? Yeah, we good. And then all of a sudden he wants to be around. And that's when the whole
because he thought he was controlling the situation by doing that, which is gaslighting, which is something else that like really gets under my skin. And obviously that goes with like narcissists and like sociopathic tendency territory. And that's the narcissism is a whole exactly what it was. That's a whole book on itself. That's some evil
that's
shit.
That's another podcast.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yes.
And all of the symptoms that come with it. But
we should do that as an episode. Let me write that down.
Yeah,
that was a whole. I got so many stories that are associated with that.
I got some. We got some stories now. We got some stories.
I'm writing that down. Yes, because that was a large part of it. Because it was like, oh wait, what do you mean? And then that's when the whole stalking, because he wants it to end, or he wants to be the one on his control. So now you're going to keep, even though I literally yelling at you, leave me the F alone, and you're just going to keep, that's a whole nother episode show.
Chipping away at it.
But all of it had to do with lies at the end of the day, because there were certain things that wasn't matching up. And lying
for
about
our
how you
group,
really felt.
For us in particular, we're as Scorpios, we are extremely sensitive. And because, we throw so much of ourselves into our relationships, like if we excuse language, if we fuck with you, we are like
fucking with you.
We are
like
ear level, crown of head deep. And we're going, but that also means that we also are very observant of you as well. So understand that any change in your behavior.
Oh, we got it just like that. We picking up on it. Like you
blinked way too many times today.
There's been a disturbance.
Like from a distance, like, babe, did you blink like an extra 5 times today? I called them at work because I feel there's a change in the wind. Like you rolled over like halfway instead of on your stomach. Like, is everything okay? You cheating, aren't you?
Yeah. Like, it's just... when I tell you she ain't lying, like I know that feeling. It is crazy. And then they make you feel like you're crazy and you're really not.
No, and be right the whole time, and then you break up over the exact thing that you like, that you called you out. I would be like, well, you hold on, I have questions. But then of course we all have mouths, and so like for me, if I feel any kind of like energetic shift, behavior shift, like your poot smell different, like if you just like it because I love and I invest, like that's how much care I take. It's like, what happened? Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Is everything okay? And then it becomes, hold on. And then I'm like, I have questions.
Right. Girl, when I say you sound just like me,
I know,
God, that's like bringing back so many memories.
I know. I was like, can we talk for a moment? I was like, I got some questions. Some things aren't adding up to me. Can you just help me make it make sense? I'm not angry. I'm not upset, but some things aren't making some sense to me. And
2 + 2 ain't equaling 4 right now.
Right. Please help me to make it make sense, just in case I'm not, and then, but the moment you lie to me, I'm like, okay. Like,
that energy thing for me is like for real. And I used to not be so much in tune with it, or listen to it, I should say. I've always been in tune with it, but not necessarily going with what my intuition was telling me. But that same person back in the day when we first dated, that was what ended up happening, because it happened like multiple times with the whole, don't be community dick. Like, I don't like that. I don't like to share. If you community dick, let me know. And then I will decide if I want to participate in the community, but don't just be doing it. And I don't know, I'm part of a group.
Don't do it and promise
I don't
commitment.
like that.
That's my problem is
Exactly.
if the conversation and if the, not, I don't say the deal, but I mean, but if the contract between you two is commitment like that, yeah, don't do that. Like, don't.
But like
No.
what it was like, it was like certain, like you said, watch, and it was like certain things that it wasn't completely off, it was just slightly off. And he had came over one day back in the day. I was living in Daytona at the time. He came over to watch a movie. He sat down. I was like, "So you sleeping with somebody else, aren't you?" And he was just like, just like in shock. I was like, "Yeah, I know." He's like, I wasn't going through any of his stuff. I mean, my cell phones weren't what they are now, but I wasn't going his phone. I never, to me, if I feel like if I got to go through your phone, I already know the answer. Like, we already done.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, you are. He was like, yeah, like it was a relief to say it. He was like, yeah. And then I'm looking at the pictures of the girl, he showed me, and I was just like, like, just do you, bro? Do you?
Yeah, like we know, like, because especially when you are like loving and you are concerned, you're gonna pick up on the small things. Oh, they really like when this happens, or I heard them say this, so I'm gonna go get them this gift, or I see it that they like to walk around this thing, or they're always they're always bumping into this thing, so you move it out the way from, like, it's just, you see that. And so when things like that change, and I feel like some people aren't as observant, so they themselves don't realize how different they start to move when things start to like change. And I mean, the only constant thing is change. Change is inevitable. Change is the only constant that's out there. So that's not to say that people can't evolve and change and grow, but there's difference between like evolving, changing, and growing, and changing your behavior to do shit that that you probably shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Like, or that you're not comfortable communicating, even though you need to go ahead and communicate it if that's what you're going to do, because it's going to get found out anyway, and it's going to be 10 times worse having to go through it versus just like taking it head on. It's wearing.
Yeah, y'all could tell we have lived. I'll say it that way.
We have been through some stuff, y'all.
Lived in these short 30. How old are you? Sorry, 34, 33.
I'll be 34 this year.
Yay!
Our birthdays are next month.
Yay! Oh, we're gonna have to do a birthday episode. Oh shoot, we're gonna have to do a birthday episode out and about together.
If the plan if the old lady plan comes through.
Oh, that's
I want to
do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to do that, and we're gonna show out. Okay.
Show up and show out.
Show out.
Go ahead, Myrtle. Go ahead.
That's right. Go ahead. My name.
Harriet. I'll be Harriet.
Actually, one of my friends used to do it all the time. Larissa, we used to play around like that, but I was always Willie Mae, so that's who I'm gonna be, Willie Mae.
Willie Mae.
That was a good time.
I'm gonna be Esther after my great aunt Esther.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I could be Corrine. Yeah, I'm gonna be Willie Mae. Oh, I could be Corrine because then I could do the big booty like my grandma had.
Oh.
Big table sitting up behind it.
That's what I want. I won't be able to shake something on that.
I wanted to bounce.
Just make it
bounce in the back of the
head. Right? one wig, just ever so slightly. Right. Just one doobie wig that's like not adjusted at all, just like
slightly off.
Oh God.
There's two tugs and it's on.
This is gonna be a mess. This is gonna be a mess, Lord.
Yeah, so that is coming, guys, next month.
Watch for those pictures.
Fun. Yes, watch for those
birthday
pictures
month.
and those videos. But yeah, breakups. I wanted to read this because actually one of my friends, Ray, hey, shout out to Ray, he sent me a video one time and it turned me onto this guy's page. His name is Mark Groves, but he does like relationship stuff, and you could take dating classes and stuff with him. But he posts a lot of good content on his Instagram page, which is Create the Love. But he posted this the other day, and I thought it was really good considering what we were talking about. And I'm just going to read it. We have been socialized to think that a relationship ending means we are a failure. And yet a relationship that ends can often be evidence of empowerment. It can be the moment we finally said enough and chosen ourselves, perhaps for the first time. The reason relationship endings are such potent vehicles for expansion is that the death of a relationship is often also the death of the people pleaser. It's the death of conformity. It's the death of tolerating mediocrity. Whenever a relationship ends, liberation can begin if we accept the invitation. And I thought that was really good.
Yay, Ashe.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Snaps to that.
Yes, there's life after breakup. People is okay, and reach out. That's like the big thing too. When you're going through a breakup, it's easy to
have a support system.
Yeah, figure out who your support system is, and just know you're never alone. There's always somebody you can talk to, even when you think it's not. Think outside the box, and sometimes think of friends that you may not have talked to for a while, and realize that just anything, and just keep moving, process and feel. If you have a therapist, you please use your therapist,
utilize it. Yes.
Or it's a great opportunity to also get into therapy. I remember I had fell off going to therapy. I had a breakup, and that was the catalyst to get me back into therapy. Right. So use it as a catalyst if you need to, but then that'll give you that ear to really just exhaust yourself as far as like verbally pulling that out, and cry, guys. I'm sorry, cry, men and women.
It's
cry.
Okay. It is okay.
Hot tears,
men. It is okay to cry.
It is cleansing.
It really is
great, and it's physically therapeutic. Like, get that out of your system. Don't hold on to that, because if you hold on to it and you don't feel it and process it and let it pass through, that means it's just it's going to come back, and you're going to keep picking the same kind of people.
Exactly.
They're going to keep showing up. You're going to throw up and emotionally bleed all over them, and you're going to keep trying to figure out why. But if you never let yourself get through those legit feelings, you're never, those things are going to keep coming back up into you.
And it's almost like when you don't release it too, it's like you're minimizing how you're feeling about the situation, and you shouldn't do that. Like, your feelings are valid.
Right. I was having a conversation with this, a guy friend, actually one I met not too long ago, and he's been really, which is weird. I don't open up to people. I really don't. Like, I'm like you got a brick wall. You're going to have to really bust through that thing. But for whatever reason, he's been able to do that like very quickly and very easily. But one thing that he did, I was talking about, it wasn't dealing with relationships, but it was dealing with like the death of my mom, like around her birthday time. I was having like a really, really hard time. And he called me that day, and I wasn't planning on talking about it. It was just like regular chit chat or whatever. And for whatever reason, it came up. And I was talking about like the whole process of, her getting sick and then the surgery, and I was telling him certain things, and he was like, wait a minute, stop. Can we like recognize that trauma for a second? And just like that right there. And I was like, and just started crying, because it was like, he's like, you're talking about it like that's nothing. That's something. Like, you need to stop and recognize what that is. Like, so let's talk about that exact particular moment, that exact particular feeling. And that's, I think, therapy is that's what that's good for, is recognizing the things that, especially, it can happen with anybody, but I think Black people, because we're always in survivor mode. A lot of us have PTSD from different things, relationships and other things. And because we're always, you got to keep going, you got to keep going, you got to keep going. You can't sit down, you can't stop, you got to go. We always tell each other, be strong, be strong, be strong.
Yeah, don't feel.
Recognize that trauma. Like, that's something, and that has affected you. So I think therapy is good for pinpointing those things and being able to get through it.
Yeah. I know now, like when I go see my mom at the nursing home, like, Nick, I've called you many a time sobbing, telling you to make it stop, because it's just, uncontrollable. But now, and a lot of times what happens is when I leave there, it's been almost 5 years now, and I'm still in complete awe that I don't have my mom in the capacity that I thought I would still have her, now. And so what I'll do, I'll sit in the car and I'm like, and I'll feel it for a minute. And then I'm like, okay, and then I'll leave. But before, it's like, nope, I wouldn't feel it. I would just keep going, because I didn't want to break down again. Because even though it's been so long, like, I go see her every day, and to see someone you love and care about so much, just I'm sorry, just for anyone, I don't care who, what, where, how, and why. That's no life. And at this point, since COVID, she doesn't get out of the bed anymore. That's no life. So I was not feeling it for a long time. Yeah.
That's hard to
so
see.
now I make myself feel it, even if it's for just a small little moment. I'll feel it, and then I'll go on about my business.
Yeah, but you have to, because otherwise that backs up. and that
It
creates
does, and
health
that's what
issues, not just mental issues. That creates health, like physical body
Yes.
health
Yes.
issues, stress,
Yeah.
anxiety,
Causing
anger,
diseases in the
depression.
body. Yeah.
Yes, that
Yeah.
causes all kinds of nonsense to hold on when you hold on to that kind of stuff unnecessarily. Like I think a lot of our illnesses are sometimes like childhood traumas we didn't realize
It really
we were
is.
still holding on to, or
It really is.
it
That's
really
why I
could
got
be anything.
all these streaks, because I'm still, part of our conversation, I'm still dealing. And he was like, well, why don't you let yourself, feel it? It's just like, because I don't know how long I'll be like that down, and I can't be down. I got children, I got a job. Like I feel like the way it feels to me is like I'm sinking in a dark hole. That's the way it feels. Have y'all watched that show, The Maid? On
No, I
Netflix?
saw it on there. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. But there's like one part of it where she ends up, it's about domestic violence, a violent relationship. But when she goes back to him, there's like a couple of portion of the episode where people are talking to her, but she's in a well. Like visually, they show us if she's in a well, and that's the way it feels. Like if I go down there, it's like real deep, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna get back out. So I'm just not gonna. We'll just play along the edge, and then we'll, keep it moving. So I'm still dealing, but therapy is good for.
But it's okay. You still recognize it though. You recognize
it's
it.
okay. When you're ready to jump in the well, go ahead and jump in. Me and Felicia will have some rope.
We here.
We'll have some rope in the bucket, and we'll bring the
pull you
ladder
out.
down. You still good down there? You found everything? How's that shadow work going?
Yes, bring me food.
Girl say, right, drop you some food, and then
real quick.
Flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys been like tired lately?
Yes.
Okay.
Exhausted.
I had to do some research. I know we're Mercury retrograde, and I need her to go home.
Yeah, she needs to go
now.
Oh.
She leaves on the 17th.
I'm very cautious. I'm very cautious of her because and things that I do around that time, because I don't care what anybody says. Shit gets wild. And like real petty.
Well, maybe that's what it is.
So
I just kind
of like, I'm just like, I'm gonna be extra positive. I'm not gonna let anything like get to me. Like I almost had a situation. So this past weekend, I went to a annual HBCU golf tournament that raised funds for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it was stellar. It was absolutely stellar to see just like that many Black people just be Black and play golf for a great cause kind of thing. And more details on that next year. Cool. But anyways, getting there, and I'm so excited to get there. I had so much go wrong just getting off the plane and then getting to the golf tournament. It really could have like ruined my day. And it just happened to happen like right now. So like I get there, and first of all, my flight, like we sat on the plane for almost an hour waiting to take off. And I was like, okay, well, that's just annoying. Get there. I have my rental car set up, ready to go, like already paid for it. I just need to go pick it up. But I just moved, obviously, but for viewers listening, I just settled back down to Tampa. So there's still some things that have like the addresses on everything haven't lined up yet. I just got my new car registration, which now has my new address, waiting on my new driver's license now with also the address to match. I still had to, update my insurance to also match. So things had like old addresses and stuff on it, but that never been a problem. I get there and they're like, oh, well, we need, this to match this. I was like, that's not going to match that because I just ordered it. I was like, here's the receipt from the DMV showing that I just ordered using this new address. Well, that needs to match what's on over here. I was like, it's not going to, because I just ordered it and it's in mail limbo. It's in the ether somewhere. It hasn't gotten to me yet. But I have my driver's license and I have car insurance. And then she started asking me for like a mix of like a million different things. Well, what about this? Do you have this? I was like, no. I was like, but my bank statement does show my new address, which matches this receipt showing that this, and she was like, well, I can't take that. But what about issues? She's asking me to like provide like all these like roundabouts. And I was like, okay, well, this matches this. Does that help? No, I need the original things that I was like, okay, so what was the point of you
asking me all
the other alternatives? If you couldn't take it, what was the point? What would you do? And I was starting to get to that moment because she was like getting real nonchalant with me. and I almost slapped
were-
the ugly ass
were
like
so
purple
quick.
glitter off her eyes. I was about to knock all this shit over. Like it was that one mean. I'm nice, but I will knock all this shit over. And I was like
Yeah.
at that point, and I had my phone and I had to just like snatch it back. And I was like, you know what?
Breathe or breathe.
And she was like, ma'am, we need. I was like, please be quiet for a
I
moment.
need you to shut up.
And I just looked at her, I was like,
Yeah.
just be quiet for a moment. And I closed my eyes and I took a breath. And there was a black gentleman that was sitting in the little booth next to her. And he was like, you better be quiet.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
I was like, I am sorry.
Thank you
I
for your
am
support.
upset at this situation because I had this already set and ready to go. I am hungry. I've been up since 3:30 a.m. I've never had this issue before. Even with mixed matching addresses, if my name's on everything, it's me. So I'm not quite sure where these new rules came from. I was like, and we just spent and wasted about 20 minutes with you giving me alternatives that you weren't going to, that you had no intention of taking. So please understand that I'm real frustrated right now. I was like, but at the situation, not at you, because you have nothing else better to do but sit here anyway. So just refund my money. I'm gonna get an Uber.
Let me move on.
Goodbye. Ma'am, you gotta sign. I was like, I don't have to sign shit. Send me my money back. Give me my money back. Just go ahead and cancel everything. Give me my money back. And so I got in the Uber. It was a 45-minute ride to my destination.
Ooh, that was high.
And I was like, that was the cost of that Uber was the price of the rental.
Yeah.
The rental.
For a 45-minute drive. That's expensive.
I was livid. And I was like, and that was my ride to get me to all the places I needed, the airport and back, and like all the other, it was a chain that lasted. But in the car ride, I was like, that is out of your control.
Right. Yeah. For me, it's
let it
like,
process it. Like I'm sitting there mad, and the Uber driver was just like, oh, how are you? I'm like, look, not good right now. I was like, but it's not on you. Thank you so much for taking me to my destination. I'm gonna sit back here. I just need to breathe for a little bit. And but I almost just was like, nope, just push it down. I was like, no, I got 45 minutes. I'm not gonna push this shit down. I'm about to feel this. I'm about to cuss out my head. And then after I felt it and let it and I finally took that last hot exhale. I was like, okay, there's nothing to be done about this. It is what it is. Thank goodness I have, all my things, my belongings. I got here safe. I'm still going to get there on time. I can change my Uber, destination to stop at McDonald's before we get there. It's just to get something to eat. This event's going to be fire. I'm okay.
Yeah, for me, it was like work was for 2 days. I think it was that Tuesday and Wednesday. I was literally sitting here at the screen what the break is going on? And normally after work, I get off and I'll stay up for another 3-4 hours. Man, as soon as my head hit that pillow, I was out. Log off, take a shower, and I was out, out. Even trying to get to the gym. Yesterday was my first day in the gym. Usually I go 4 days a week, but I couldn't even. I had my alarm. My body was like, snooze, you ain't going nowhere. Sleep. Yeah. Yesterday on my lunch break, I'm like, I'm gonna, lay down for my hour. Girl, hour 30 minutes later, I'm waking up oh shit.
What? Oh no.
Yes.
Yes.
I slept. And if somebody hadn't texted me and that's what woke me up, I still would have been sleeping. I probably would have missed the rest of my shift because I was out, completely out in the middle of the day. Done.
It's time for you to go, baby. We done.
It's just been crazy. But I mean, I don't pay attention to that stuff because I don't know.
I do when stuff starts to feel funny. My body starts to feel funny, and I'm like,
yeah, but I'm
what is that? What is that? Yeah. What is that on my shoulders right now? You just kind of something. I had to
purposely, music is my thing. Y'all see my videos. I'm always music is my thing. So I was like, you know what? Work is work. This is out of your whole entire life. This is a very small percentage of you. Of what you do. Mm-hmm. This is just a means to an end for now. You don't necessarily plan on being here forever. Yes, so I don't need to music is my thing. That's what I was saying. So for me, put your music on, girl. Put your music on, get your incense out, get your sage out because I love that smell too of the burning like wood. I don't know why. Just like I'll sit here with like it's probably not good, but
no, it's wonderful though. It reset the air.
I love that smell.
Set it.
But just that's what was getting me through it. Like, all right, you good now. You can sit back down because it's been people tripping. That's all I'm gonna say. The more I have to deal with people, the more I realize that, especially here in this country, we are very self-centered, very entitled, and we think that the world revolves around us. Like some of us really act like that. And then when somebody tells you that it doesn't, it's like, well, what do you mean it doesn't? You're supposed, that type of thing. Oh, child. Anyway,
everybody's the main character in their own movie.
Right. Exactly. I'm the star. Like, not quite, but really, back to breakups. I mean, we all have been through them. We've all gotten through them. So this has been a good episode. It kind of rounds out, everything that we've talked about over last season and this season with the dating and relationships and getting through stuff. So it's been really good. You guys are so smart. I say that every time.
We do that,
but we need to shout out our social media. So this episode is up everywhere: Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube.
I got
Pandora, iHeartRadio. Y'all, we everywhere. Literally. Oh, the new one. Amazon Music. We are now on Amazon Music too. Yay!
We got another outlet.
Yes, so we are everywhere, y'all. If you ain't listening, I don't know what to tell you.
We'll make it big. Please, and like, subscribe, comment, and share. Please.
I'm gonna flash that when I edit this video. I'm gonna flash that across the screen. Like, comment, share, because people tell me, I listened to it, I watched it. Please. When you do that, love
getting
comment,
like personal text messages about it.
Something, say something, share the link, all that good stuff. But next month, like we said, is our birthday, which is good.
Yeah.
Next year, we got other things planned. So we're just going to keep getting better individually. We're going to be getting better collectively. I actually had a really good conversation yesterday with my academic counselor. I'm back in school, y'all. Try out my brain, but it's been good. I got a 4.0. It's been good.
Yay.
But I had a really good conversation, and it just made me feel. It's so weird how you can have conversations with like strangers, because I don't know her.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all, we're gonna be good. That's all I can say. After that conversation, I'm like, we on the right path. We gonna be good, y'all. Like for real.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. That's the only option. There is no other.
Exactly. Got distracted again, girl. I started talking about social media, y'all. Nigel knows on Instagram, on YouTube. It's Nigel knows everywhere. So y'all check it out. Say something. My personal page, Nikat, NIKE_8201. The header wraps, if you want to get yourself looking nice and regal, honey, Rap Queen 82. That's on Instagram and on YouTube.
Nice. At Tootsie Roller 12, and then I have another page that has been neglected as at Where I'm Going. But in the spirit of ADHD, I will probably be putting up a new page based on my hobbies that I have picked up since I am not traveling like that. You may get a page with some pole fitness hobbying going on and golfing and things of that nature.
Works too.
That might be on its way, but for right now, just at Tootsie Roller, and then I've on Facebook, Tori Johnson. Find me.
Yeah. DeLeon Fitness 1, Instagram, Facebook, Felicia DeLeon. Workouts, positive inspiration. Get you thinking, get you in good spirits, spreading that love, that
Felicia
joy.
Positive stuff every single day.
Everything. I'm on it every day. I wake up. I'm like, okay, what's next? I'm on it like clockwork.
Affirmation
every day.
Yeah.
Oh my mama. Oh my hood.
I look fly.
I look good. That's my swag.
Hey, what's good? Hey.
All right, people. Y'all gonna make it through those breakups. We're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys.
Do the work, please. People do the work.
Do the work.
And it's okay to walk away. It's hard. But if it needs to be done, recognize it.
And if it's meant to be, it'll come back. It really, truly will.
Everything meant for you. There's nothing that can keep what's meant for you away from you.
I attract, I don't chase.
Boom. All right.
End it. Stop the recording. Stop the recording.
Exactly. I was about to say, I feel like
drop the mic.
All right, y'all.
Peace out.
Out.